We end the week with Steve Hartman on the road to recovery.
You may remember a couple years ago, I confessed to a weed addiction. Although I only did it at my place in upstate New York after the kids were in bed, the fact was,
Here we go.
I could not stop pulling the things.
Oh, yeah.
Mugwort, Canada thistle, and leafy goldenrod were some of my favorites.
That's the stuff.
I realized the extent of my addiction only after my cameraman interviewed my wife Andrea about it.
He goes out at 7 o'clock at night and weeds until dark. I mean, sometimes he's out there past dark.
And her point is?
It's not weeding a garden, it's weeding 5 acres.
4.5, technically. See, a few years earlier, I had this idea to turn this weedy hillside into a beautiful prairie full of native wildflowers and grasses. I contacted this man, who would eventually become my dealer.
We started with prairie plants.
Neil DeBall owns the Prairie Nursery in Westfield, Wisconsin. He got me hooked on weeds through gateway plants like purple coneflower, compass plant, and smooth aster.
We're trying to get you hooked. Yes, my product is highly addictive. It's called Love of Nature.
But here's the problem. Before you see those flowers in the magazine, you often need to spend a great deal of time weeding a new prairie meadow. And Neil made no mention of how addicting that can be.
I would come out here every night and dread it, and then a switch flipped, and I started coming out here and loving it.
Weeding can induce a meditative state. And that is therapy for all of us in this crazy world we live in, when you can just tune everything out and focus on one single-minded purpose.
Also, just as a practical matter, after investing hundreds of hours out here, what else can you do? Just give up on the whole project?
It would,
Andrea?
I could live without it.
You want your husband back, don't you?
No, I don't know if I could live with how defeated my husband would feel if we gave it up.
After this story first aired in 2015, I thought a lot about her hesitation. I realized you can take a hobby too seriously, which is why I am now a recovering weedaholic. Oh, I'll still clip the occasional spotted knapweed, but I don't obsess like I used to, choosing instead to focus more on these 3 blossoms, growing like weeds in the only garden we tend that truly matters. Steve Hartman, at home, in Catskill, New York.
The occasional spotted knapweed. Steve Hartman away with the words and away with the weeds.